Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, social media family, wherever you are on the planet, in the world, on another planet perhaps. We're here, we're coming to you from West Palm Beach County in beautiful sunny Florida. And I'm fortunate enough to have a guest from that place. We have Amanda. She's a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur, a founder, an insurance guru. And she's still out there in the trenches and built a wonderful business for herself. And we were fortunate enough to meet at a realtor event a couple weeks ago. And sometimes people just jump out at you and you're like, wow, this person's cool. Let's talk and let's hop on and share your story with the world. So here we are. Amanda, thanks for joining us. Yay!
Hey, thank you for having me, Chris. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So it's we know these things about you. You're a mother first. We always say mother, wife, entrepreneur. Yes. You've created this business. You had one insurance business, then you founded Stonebridge, right? So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to start at the beginning. And the beginning actually started when I was a teenager. So growing up, my dad was an Allstate agent, and I would go into his office and I would file, and I swore I was never going to be an insurance agent because I used to get all these paper cuts all over my hands, and I hated it. Well, my dad being an insurance agent in Allstate, he ended up, my mother actually ended up starting another company. I went to college, I went to UCF, I got my business degree, and then I didn't know what I was going to do. So then I started working with the family business. We were there for many, many years. I eventually bought that family business with partners. And then a few years down the line, I wanted to expand north. That previous company is down in more South Florida, and I was moving my family and myself up into Palm Beach. So 7 years ago, I founded Stonebridge, and we've been growing ever since. And it's been a crazy ride, but it's been a great ride. And now I've been 20 years doing insurance, and that was not the plan, but here we are. And now I love it. It's what I know. It's what I do. It's my craft. And I love the craft. It's not many people usually find insurance interesting, but to me, I'm always putting puzzle pieces together, and that's what it is. That's why I love it so much. Everyone's story is different. Everyone has a different family, a different need. It's not cookie cutter. So while it's still insurance, it's always changing, and I'm able to keep myself, my brain going and thinking and busy and just and connected.
It's, so it's interesting. So we hear so many stories about people getting into the family business. Mm-hmm. And it's not always that people enjoy their family business, but you've you jumped in, clearly You liked it because you bought it, you took it over. Now you're talking about it with passion, like, hey, it keeps me going. So, I mean, did you find your passion once you were in it? Or were you kind of like attracted to it even kind of before you're coming into it, like something, hey, I'm interested in that? Or was it something you were kind of forced into and then found your passion in it?
I definitely was not into it at all. I wanted to make money. I wanted to support myself. My goal wasn't to be, the richest person in the world. That is not it. But I wanted to support myself no matter what, myself, without anyone else. And I think that was always my driving goal. That's always been my goal since I can ever remember, is to stand on my own 2 feet and never have to rely on somebody else. So that's where it stemmed from. And I went to UCF Orlando, got that business degree, and I was still sitting there like, what do I want to do? Now, adding to it with the business degree, I also got a psychology minor because I like people. Why do they consume? How do they consume? What are they doing? How does the mind work? Why is it working that way? So I noticed that I wanted to help people. And then once, I come to this situation of here, either, go work for someone else or come work with the family business. I said, you know what? It's pulling me this direction. Let me try. And I found that I'm able to combine the both of the passion of liking to help people, of that psychology piece of it, with the marketing and management and business ownership of it, all into one. And the reality is, at least for me, insurance is stable. Although the market is absolutely crazy right now, I will say that it's everywhere. But insurance is something that has always been there. My dad, I played softball growing up. I was an athlete. My dad never missed a game. He was an Allstate agent in insurance and was always there for me. So he was able to. I saw him navigate both a family and a career, and to be able to provide. And so it wasn't exactly insurance that got me, but it happened, and now I see where the fit's just there. It really is. And I've got so many family members in it. It's quite funny. It really is. Our Thanksgiving is all, and we're like, okay, guys, stop talking about the insurance. It's enough. But it is what it is. So
yep.
yeah.
I love that. You said a couple things there. It's, hey, I definitely wasn't interested in insurance per se, but you were super connected to a couple of things. One was being in business for yourself, having that financial freedom, setting it up so that you could be your own boss. And also, aside from that, you knew you wanted to help people. So you found a way, you carved a place for yourself that you're helping people through insurance and running your own business. So I'd say both of those boxes are checked. And that I think so many people miss that. They're kind of, who wants to sell insurance? Who wants to sell real estate? Well, who wants to be an investment banker? Whatever it is. But if you're being connected with your why is so important. And by the way, guys, you're joining us live now. We're here with Amanda. She's got a lot of titles, among them mother, wife, entrepreneur, founded insurance companies, and she's super passionate about helping people. If you guys have any questions for Amanda, you can just feel free to put them in the chat. We do have Jay did say good morning. Good morning, Jay. So it's nice to have you. And I guess it's morning where you are. I know he's in New York. So tell us a little bit about now your day-to-day. How do you kind of keep it going and rediscover that passion constantly? And what's your growth trajectory look like? And I mean, you've got employees now on top of everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm an early bird. I'm a morning person. I am not a night person. I tell everybody I turn into a pumpkin at 10 o'clock and I am asleep. So I'm up early. And I think partly that is because I am a mom. My kids are getting older, but we still have to get to school. So I'm in that mindset of, early to rise, early to sleep. I come in for a few hours. Honestly, I'm usually in by 7:30, but I'm not answering the phone. That is when I'm, doing some of my background work that I need to do. But throughout the day, around 9 o'clock, my other agents come into the office, and they call me, and I've called myself, I'm the quarterback of the team. Yes, technically my title is the boss. I am the owner, but that's really how I like to manage the day with all the other agents in here, because I have the experience. They have to come to me with questions and how to handle situations. So I'm that quarterback behind the scenes, always knowing what's going on, what's happening with this policy, what's happening with this client. So that's another good thing about our agency. I will say, anytime you call, the phone is answered by a licensed agent. And I'm right here. I'm right. I mean, I could turn the camera and you'd see all my employees sitting down here. We all stay connected. We are all listening into each other because we are such a team. I wasn't interested in creating an environment where there was competition. Although competition is good, we don't always need competition. The reality is there's plenty of people in South Florida. There's plenty of business out there for us to, to capture and such, but we don't need it all. So, part two, I want to methodically grow, and I've been doing that. This Stonebridge is now 7 years old, and I like to say that it's done some decent size growth, but it's been methodical, and it's been, I say, either slow and steady wins the race, or the turtle in the hare. And I call myself the turtle, and I'm completely okay with that, because that turtle never stops. They keep going, and they eventually get there. And that's really how we continue our business here. And then the other big thing is that I check out. I used to constantly have my email. When I started this, I had my email going, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I do feel at times that is important, but there's also times that I'm a person. Like, I'm a real person over here, and I need to go to sleep, or I need my downtime too. So I've tried to set up expectations with my clients. That way they know when they're calling, when they expect their phone calls back. And also with the real estate agents and the network of referral partners that we have too, is that we set that expectation of when they're going to get their quotes, when they're going to get their policies. But they also understand that really, to be honest, over the weekends, I can't really do too much either. Companies are closed. So it's trying to find that balance, because I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not going to be doing this for 5 years. You're going to see me around for at least another 30. So okay. It's that turtle in that hare. Be that turtle. I always say that to people, because that's what's going to keep you in it for the long haul.
I'm okay being the turtle. And we love turtles down here in South Florida. We really do. So an interesting distinction too, because you got you're all for your employees. We love that, creating a family environment. you're really front and center with your clientele, your customers. And then you mentioned, hey, working with realtors, mortgage people. I mean, my clients are small business owners. A majority of them are in the real estate business at some capacity. Real estate salespeople with teams, brokerages, mortgage companies. How does that differ? How does that kind of client relationship, that customer service, dealing when you're business to business? A lot of people that might pop onto this are in the real estate business at some capacity. So how does your client relationship management differ with the professionals, the other businesses, over how you would deal directly with the client?
Well, the reality is when someone's buying a house, especially, so we deal with a lot of new home buyers. Of course, we deal with people that are already in their homes. But we're going to talk about that new home buying process. The real estate agent is their best friend. It is, and it's their best friend from then and for time to go on. So the reality is that I'm 100% referred. I don't have any advertising. I can't remember the last time that I actually paid for an advertisement. Yes, I network, and yes, I sponsor events, and yes, I do some of that stuff. But our business is 100% referred. That means a lot. We take that so extremely serious because we know that client could very well go back to their best friend, who's that referral partner of ours, and have negative comments. And having no answer is an answer. Calling a client back and saying, I don't have an answer, I'm still working on it, is an answer. So that's something that we do even with our real estate agents or our mortgage brokers. If we're working on something, we try to give them an expectation of timing. Obviously things can happen, but it's communicating with them and making sure that they're understanding. The other thing a lot of times I do too, especially, I'm so focused in South Florida, so a lot of my comments are going to be for the South Florida market. I can help anywhere in the state of Florida, but these inspection reports are very detailed. A lot of times my partners will send me these inspection reports, and that way I can discuss with them behind the scenes before alerting the client about what's going on and how to approach the situation. Some clients are very nervous about the situation, which they should be, but on the same hand, sometimes their nerves, it's not a big deal to fix this or that on a house, and we can get through it and you can get into this dream house. The recent big thing that I'm coming across is these roofs. These roofs are coming to an age and they need to be replaced. And a lot of buyers are scared of a roof with an old roof. But then we talk to them, wait a second, if you're able to negotiate a situation that after closing within the first year, you can get that roof replaced, guess what? You have a brand new roof now. You're going to be in this house for 15, 20, however many years. You don't have to worry about it. So I really try to navigate the sensitivity. And the reality, this is the biggest purchase of anyone's life, usually, is their home. So there's a sensitivity with that process. We're aware of it. We don't do it. We know nothing about selling homes. We stay in our lane when it comes to that, but we are very sensitive to the situation. And we're also very creative. That's the other piece of the puzzle, is it's not cookie cutter. So we can take a situation, look at it, and help guide what needs to be done in order to get everything set and okay for that client.
That's awesome. It could, a lot of things, a lot of small things could be deal killers because it's high emotions, high sensitivity. I did real estate. Well, when I was in real estate sales, sometimes it was just like, I would buy a warranty for him for a year. Hey, if we bought a warranty for you for a year, would that ease your mind? That'll work. And then there you go. You got a $500 warranty, even less. It was to make a deal happen. But I love how, and I tell my clients, just make sure that whatever professional network you have, insurance, mortgages, real estate, accounting, whatever you do, make sure that people do business like you. So it seems like you're the type of person that's hands-on. You kind of get your hands dirty, so to speak. You're front and center. What would somebody expect that work? Like, what should somebody expect that decides to work with you and your team?
They always are going to get a phone call answered. I mean, anytime they call or anytime they email, we usually same day, next day turnaround time, depending on the situation. But a client calls. I've got emails from clients today. They're all getting responses today. I think that's the number one thing, is that they know that they can get in touch with an agent now. That really is the biggest. The reality is that there's thousands of insurance agents in South Florida. Yeah. And generally speaking, we're all selling the same product or similar product, period. It's kind of like a car. You want that car. You can go to how many different dealerships? It's the same car. You might get a different experience, though, at that dealership or with that sales agent working with you. I hate to say that, I'm not selling a car, but you see what I'm saying? Like, it's really the same product, but it's, it's the service, and then it's the knowledge or the creativity to look, and then to take the time to listen to the client and figure out what they're looking for, because what you're looking for and what I'm looking for and what he's looking for could be completely different. So, but some clients, they just, some people like to do the online thing. Some people will call and have a conversation. We want to mold to them and make sure they're comfortable as well.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is that, clearly it's a service business, right? People are, we're all selling the same products. You're working with us. The experience is going to be different. Communication is super important to you. And then being able to kind of zone in and identify, zone in on the client's needs, and I'm sure having a product knowledge base is super important too. So what types of things are you doing? I know you mentioned that you do training and stuff like that.
I do, yes.
What kinds of ways are you adding value to your professional network?
Yes. Most of our training, or my training that I do, is I will put on small classes. I mean, I can make them large, but they're normally small classes within the real estate agent's office. And yes, I could talk about insurance and actually, what coverage A means, but we don't go into any of that. It's all geared towards what the normal, I'm talking real estate agents, is buyers and sellers. If they have a listing, what they should be looking for, because they can look around at that house before they put it on the market to see if there's any red flags. I've even had some real estate agents do a 4-point inspection prior to listing it to see if there's anything that they're uncovering. But I go through the details of what these inspections are going to look for and things that they can look for to be proactive instead of reactive on that listing. And then on the flip side of it, when they're working with a buyer, especially a buyer that could be tight on their ratios, there are key aspects of a home that you can look for when you're doing your search that will keep the premiums down. So we go over too, and what are the items to look for, and things that they can look at and guide their client. I mean, a frame house is going to blow over and burn a lot quicker than a concrete house. So a frame house is going to cost more money. So they might want to stay away from that kind of house structure as opposed to a concrete.
That's cool. So you kind of, like, from the perspective here, from the lens of an insurance professional, here's some things you can do to, better prepare your clients,
right,
for the environment that's out there. Now, by the way, if anybody has any questions on insurance and stuff, while we have Amanda, feel free to post them right there in the chat, in the comments. I actually just threw her website in there if you want to connect with her. If you have anything else, it's right down there in the comments. You can click on it. What's something that you want everybody to know right now that, because you do homeowners, you do auto,
yeah,
you do,
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. So that's also something that's beneficial that a lot of our clients do like, is that we also offer other insurances, auto and commercial. And a lot of times when you have a home buyer, they usually have an auto, and then a lot of home buyers also own businesses. So they find it nice and comforting and great to know that they've got a manager that's managing all of those kinds of policies, all those types of policies. But beyond the home, when generally speaking, we're talking about a new first-time or second-time home buyer in their primary home. But what we extend into Airbnb, rentals, condos, triplexes, it all, any kind of structure we can insure. So that's what's really, good too, is a lot of the clients will like that they have all their insurances in one spot, calling one place. And, we're constantly in touch with them over the year. But yeah, it is nice that would be something else that I want everyone to know. Yes, of course, we do the home insurance. That's what we're talking about right here. That's what we, are. But there's also auto and commercial that we specialize in and can help with as well.
Cool. I imagine you get a lot of people moving in from out of town. In South Florida, and they probably like, oh wait, you have, because sometimes, I know I looked at my insurance and stuff when I moved down here for my vehicle, so that's a helpful thing. What's something that right now that you want the world to know, the non-insurance professionals? What's something that you want them to know about insurance, about what's happening with insurance, particularly in Florida, that you wish you could kind of get out there, and put a stop to what's.
Are you sure you want to know? Are you sure you want to know? I got a couple things on this one.
Okay.
Okay. First, I always want to say, never forget, insurance is not a maintenance plan; it's a catastrophe plan. A lot of people forget that. Just like your tires on a car as they wear, you don't make an insurance claim, you replace your tire. So you can't forget that if something happens and something's just aging and getting old, it's our responsibility as a homeowner to upkeep your home. But the home insurance is for a major catastrophe. But what's going on in the insurance world in Florida today? That is a touchy topic for almost any single homeowner in Florida right now, because every single homeowner is feeling the squeeze of what's going on. We have, in my opinion, we have an attorney problem. The laws and the way that the laws are set, it favors on the side of the attorneys to get triple their fees, a lot of extra fees, triple their fees on a claim. And what that's doing and what they're seeing is that the clients are getting $20,000, $30,000 on the claim, and the attorney's getting $70,000. That's broken. That's not right. The numbers have come out, and they're true. I mean, I'm not an actuary. I don't analyze data, but in reading reports and some of the networks that I'm associated with and seeing the numbers coming out, is that Florida has the most attorney represented claims in the entire country. There are 49 other states that are doing it perfectly okay, but Florida right now is breaking. We've had 10 companies in the past 2 years go out of business. Yeah. Now, I have seen a similar cycle happen before. Back in 2005, when Wilma hit, it put a couple insurance companies out of business. And the market, I say my insurance market, I'm not talking real estate market, insurance market kind of took a crash. And there was slim pickings. So we were just taking the couple that we could. A couple of years went by, a couple of things changed with laws, and then it was an influx of other carriers coming back in offering lower rates. I expect the same thing to happen in the next couple of years. Do I think it's going to be tough right now? Absolutely. Is it going to change tomorrow or even next year? I'm hoping that next year we'll start to feel, but it really has to stem from Tallahassee. So if you want to do something, get involved with your governor and push to him to get him to start making these changes, because that's where it has to trickle down from. It really does. The insurance companies, I mean, they don't go in business to go out of business. It's not normal for 10 carriers to literally have to close their doors or leave the state. That's not normal. So, I just say hold tight. And the biggest tip that I could have for any homeowner right now, if you have a policy, don't cancel it. I understand it might be expensive. Try not to leave it. Try not to shop it, because what happens is you call me, you want me to get you a better rate. Yes, sometimes there's situations where I can, but what happens is I can get you a better rate. Sure. Underwriting comes in. Underwriting's going out, doing new inspections. Underwriting can override me at any point in time and say, nope, it does not qualify, and cancel your policy. Now you're stuck with nothing. So my biggest tip is to try to hold on to your policy right now and call your agent. If you have problems and this premium is just crazy, give your current agent the opportunity to assist. Maybe they can change deductibles. Maybe they can look at coverages, but I would not go shopping out thinking that you're finding someone out and that your agent's doing something that's not in your best interest. I'm sure there could be some that aren't out there, but those are my biggest tips right now to any homeowner in the state of Florida. Stay with it, give your agent a shot, and then call me if you need to.
Do not, and I like that, because you're kind of calling attention to something that doesn't otherwise need attention. Like, I know for our roof here is 20 something years old. And we're leaving everything alone because God forbid, we won't be able, like, we make any noise, they come out, well, we're not going to insure this at all. You've got it all the roof. I mean, because if a storm comes, who knows? But we just got the roof cleaned, and it didn't fall down.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I will tell you one other thing that everyone needs to know. You call your insurance agent if you think you have a problem. If you call the insurance company, they are putting a claim in right then and there. A claim follows you and follows the home. That's another item that people do not realize. So you put a claim on this home right now, you go to buy another home, that claim's following you and could disqualify you from a policy down the road. They've gotten extremely detailed on claims. So if you're going to make a claim, make sure it is well worth it. If it's close to your deductible, don't even bother with it. You gotta watch those things.
Call your agent, not your company. And I remember I had a buddy that was doing insurance in New York, and that's why he was saying that, hey, we're better than like the Geicos and stuff out there, not to mention any names, because, you have a human being that you could call to see what should I do. And I think that's great advice. Call your agent, not the company. because you don't want them to
At
put the claim
least
in.
the start, unless there's an emergency, lightning struck your roof, water's pouring in, of course. But a lot of people have these teeny tiny little things that are happening, and they think insurance is maintenance, and we just put the claim in. And that's when, in the big picture, I don't care if you put a claim in, to be honest with you, but it's going to hurt you. You're going to be the one that's paying for it, because now you've lost discounts. You're going to have claims on your record. So it's not just this right here, right now with the couple $1,000 repair that I have. It's in the long run. That's where I like to do that analyzation of things, at what's going on there is that long run for you.
Yeah, look at the bigger picture. And it's just good to have people in your corner to bounce things off of. And look at your insurance agent as a consultant. Your real estate expert, your mortgage person, your accountant, your financial planner. I got a call from somebody recently. Hey, do you have any advice for me? I just declared bankruptcy. And I said, my advice is not to declare bankruptcy, because you have assets. You need to do that. So this is a family member. Yeah. But anyway, don't you love it when they call you afterwards? Like, I know.
I put a claim in. Oh yeah, all the time. I cannot tell you how often someone knocked on my door. I bought a house. 2 days later, someone knocked on my door and said I could get a new roof for free. And they did. And they put the claim in, and they got paid.
Yeah, of course. I think some of that's stopping now. I hope it's stopping.
And that's really the bleed. That's what's happening. And I think, and part of it, again, it goes back to, and I can get detailed on the insurance part of it, but again, 49 other states have other laws with the RUs and such that Florida doesn't yet. And it's ridiculous. I understand, but there's got to be a balance. There has to be a balance.
Well, there's got to be, and there should be kind of regular, with these, and I know attorneys making that much. I understand everybody's got to make their money and charge their fee, but there should be some kind of, I know price fixing, you can't do it, but there's standard things out there that people need to know and look for, and I think a little bit of government protection around that would be good. Would be a good thing.
Yeah, and what's
insurance is so expensive in Florida because of all these claims.
But what's interesting is that the government regulates the rates, and the government will shut the companies down. So these 10 companies that went out of business, the government told them to. Every single year, these companies submit their financials to the state of Florida. State of Florida analyzes them and says, yes, you can continue, or no, you got to do something about it. Okay. So it's kind of crazy how a lot of the control is up there, and yet they're like, come on. People
are overlooking it, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
People are just ignoring it, and then they're finding out later. Well, what are you going to say? Amanda, thanks for joining us. If this is your last opportunity, people out there, if you have any questions for Amanda, otherwise, any parting words for the folks that are seeing this now or will be watching it later on?
Just thank you all for listening to me talk. I can talk about insurance for hours, but of course, we'd like the opportunity. We want to assist if you need assistance. But again, we also appreciate and respect other relationships that everyone has, and we thank you for your time and the opportunity. Thank you, Chris. It was great to meet you. It just happened. It was, that's what happens. You connect and sometimes it clicks.
I do these. Yeah, I do. I talk to people about things, and I figured, hey, the world needs to know this. So, why not, instead of me just calling you on the phone and asking you all these things, why not put it out there for everybody to see? So, thanks for tuning in. Reach out to Amanda, or right there in the comments would be her link, and we'll see you guys on the virtual